positioning of the sun, everybody, and welcome to what might possibly be the biggest stretch of a cast list I've ever done. Anyways, in the last episode, we did fictional bunnies, to which Thumper from Bambi ended up winning. This time, continuing on the Disney trend, a sequel episode all the way back in season 1, we did Disney princesses. Now it's the prince's turn, except you don't realize going into it how few princes there actually are. Once we get to like District 5, these were all stretches, but I basically just went, you know what, screw it. These guys already paralleled the first movie, might as well parallel all the movies they're from. So, Florian's from Snow White, Charming is Cinderella, Philip from Sleeping Beauty, Eric from Little Mermaid, Adam is also the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Ali Ababa is not his real name, but it's the name he took as a prince, which is Aladdin in Aladdin. John Smith from Pocahontas, Li Shang from Mulan, Nevan from Princess and the Frog, Eugene Fitzherbert, also known as Flynn Rider from Tangled, Mordu from Brave, because there really is no one, Maui from Moana, Sisu was a stretch, there wasn't really anyone to pull from Raya, but Raya counted as a princess, Peter Pan and Peter Pan, which we had Tinkerbell for, Quasimodo for Hunchback of Notre Dame, Tarzan, Hans, Kristoff, Alonso. You had a Princess Alana or something or other in the Princess episode, so you know there. Felix Madrigal, I looked up Encanto Prince. It didn't give me a result, so I scrolled down further, and your Wikipedia entry was first. So I said, screw it, you're going to be the Encanto rep. Han Solo for Leia, Anakin for Padme. And then the last, it was revealed Vanellope was a princess and Ralph had a dress, so I just figured, you know what, I'll throw in the other main male-female lead duo of Calhoun and Fix-It Felix Jr. So, again, I had to stretch to pull out princes for this one. But, regardless, we got it. Thank you, Grand Admiral Thrawn, for suggesting this sequel episode. If you're disappointed with the roster, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I had to stretch to get what I got. Anyways, Aladdin for the longest time has been my favorite Disney movie. Disney. I consider Pixar movies a whole different beast. So I'm absolutely rooting for Aladdin. And, You know what? Let's just parallel the Disney Princess video, because I know I also rooted for Mulan. So let's do Aladdin and Li Shang as a parallel to the sequel, as a parallel to the original video. Let's proceed. The tribute stand on the podium as the horn sounds. Maui grabs a shovel. Felix gathers as much food as he can. Sisu runs away with a lighter and some rope. Naveen runs away. Quasimodo gets a jar of fishing bait while Felix gets fishing gear. Kristoff finds a bow and arrow and a quiver. Lee and Han run away. Anakin grabs a shielding on the cornucopia. Beast runs away. Peter Pan runs away. Flynn shoots a poisonous blow dart into Prince Philip's neck, slowly killing him. Prince Florian runs away. Tarzan snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Prince Charming grabs a sword. John Smith runs away. Mordu also runs away. Calhoun gets as much food as she can. Eric and Aladdin run away. Hans breaks Alonso's nose for a basket of bread. Tarzan begs for Hans to kill him. He refuses, keeping Tarzan alive. Florian begs the same for Alonso, and Alonso refuses. Lee questions his sanity. Mordu makes a slingshot. Quasimodo searches for firewood. Naveen and Anakin work together for the day. Oh boy. If we're going lore-wise, Anakin would probably beat everybody here. Just saying. Kristoff defeats Beast in a fight but spares his life. Charming tries to spearfish with a trident. Felix thinks about home. Han begs for Peter Pan to kill him. He refuses, keeping Han alive. Aladdin camouflages himself in the bushes. Calhoun chases Eric. You have guns. Whatever. Sisu bashes John's head in with a mace. Maui questions his sanity. Flynn chases Felix. Two cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Prince Philip from District 2 and John Smith from District 4. No district is out of play just yet, but we did go from 24 survivors to 22. So let's keep going. Naveen cooks his food before putting his fire out. Aladdin stays awake all night. Hans and Han hold hands. That's funny right there. Quasimodo climbs a tree to rest. Lee defeats Calhoun in a fight but spares her life. Alonzo tries to treat his infection. Eric, Kristoff, Flynn, Anakin, and Maui sleep in shifts. Caesar stays awake all night. Peter Pan passes out from exhaustion. Mordu and Felix sleep in shifts. Oh, Felix. You know what? Maybe he has the hammer. That's why he is a bit willing to be more trusting. Tarzan tends to Beast's wounds. I could believe Tarzan knowing how to do Beast's wounds, considering he's lived in the jungle and probably had to tend to gorilla wounds. Prince Charming and Felix huddle for warmth. Florian screams for help. Alonzo stabs Kristoff while his back is turned. Maui hunts for other tributes. Sisu receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Tarzan tracks down and kills Anakin. Tarzan heard that Anakin is the most powerful person here and just got rid of the biggest threat. Mordu injures himself. Hans receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Flynn tries to sleep through the entire day. Aladdin receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Quasimodo injures himself. Peter Pan travels to higher ground. You can fly. Felix makes a wooden spear. Prince Florian defeats Beast in a fight but spares his life. Eric sprains his ankle running away from Prince Charming. Naveen injures himself. Lee sets an explosive off, killing Calhoun and Han. And Felix tries to spearfish with a trident. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Kristoff from District 9, Anakin from District 11, Calhoun from District 12, and Han from District 11. So District 11 is the first district completely out, I guess. Sorry, Theron, I know you're a Star Wars fan. But then again, you probably also said something to me like how Luke should have been the prince instead of Han. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, from 22 survivors to 18, one district is completely out. Let's keep going. Hans climbs a tree to rest. Beast stays awake all night. Peter Pan receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Felix and Florian huddle for warmth. Sisu tries to treat an infection. Mordu thinks about winning. Alonzo and Eric tell stories about themselves to each other. Lee, Aladdin, Felix, and Quasimodo tell ghost stories to lighten the mood. You know what? These guys would have some pretty good ghost stories, especially Aladdin and Quasimodo. Like, they've been to some pretty rough places. They probably got some good stories. Maui and okay, maybe not Quasimodo. He's been locked up in a tower, but Aladdin's been around. So he probably got some good ones. Anyways, Maui and Prince Charming sleep in shifts. Tarzan, Naveen, and Flynn get into a fight. Tarzan triumphantly kills them both. Tarzan trying to be the MVP. Trying to win this thing by any means necessary. Florian discovers a river. Felix receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Eric makes a slingshot. Prince Charming receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Beast receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Oh no, Calhoun is dead. She was with you. Cinderella and Belle. They're the unknown sponsors. Maui discovers a cave. Aladdin searches for firewood. Lee, Sisu, Alonzo, and Hans raid Mordu's camp while he's hunting. Peter Pan throws a knife into Tarzan's chest. Never mind, I guess whoever I say is the MVP is the next to die, so screw you, Peter Pan, you're a dick. And now you're the MVP. Quasimodo hunts for other tributes, and Felix questions his sanity. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Naveen from District 5, Flynn from District 5, and Tarzan from District 8. So Districts 5 and 11 are out, and we go from 18 survivors to 15. Let's keep going. Prince Charming tries to treat his infection. Lee screams for help. Alonzo is under a starfire and sleeps without warmth. Felix, Florian, and Aladdin successfully ambush and kill Peter Pan, Maui, and Hans. Oh my goodness, I'm right. Whoever I say is the MVP dies next. Okay, Florian is the new MVP. Quasimodo is awoken by nightmares. Felix and Beast tell stories about themselves to each other. Eric goes to sleep. Mordu tries to sing himself to sleep. Sisu sees a fire but stays hidden. Mordu sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Felix camouflages himself in the bushes. Prince Charming, Sisu, and Aladdin and Quasimodo hunt for other tributes. Felix hunts for other tributes. Beast practices archery. Florian sees smoke rising in the distance but decides not to investigate. Eric has fallen into a frozen lake and drowned. Okay, the curse is over. I don't have powers. Womp womp. Alonzo picks flowers and Lee travels to higher ground. 4 more cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Peter Pan from District 7, Maui from District 6, Hans from District 9, and Eric from District 2. So Districts 2, 5, 9, and 11 are completely out. And we are down to... And we go from 15 survivors to 11 survivors. Over halfway there. I believe, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, my math is good. Florian, Alonzo, and Quasimodo cheerfully sing songs together. Mordu cries himself to sleep. Felix quietly hums. Beast sets Aladdin on fire with a Molotov. Damn it. If I was rooting for any character more, it was Aladdin. But you know what? It's fine. We still got Lee. And we are now up to the top 10. At least both my picks got up to the top half. Speaking of Lee, Felix, Lee, and Sisu discuss the games what might happen in the morning, and Prince Charming loses sight of where he is. Sisu receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Raya, the winner of the Princess one. Oh no, Raya was the loser. Who won the Princess one? I'm gonna look this up. This is bothering me. It was Cinderella who won the last one. Okay, it was Cinderella. And Charming is still in this. It could be an exact parallel. Anyway, Sisu receives clean water. Lee camouflages himself in the bushes. Alonzo runs away from Felix. Mordu receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Prince Charming thinks about home. Quasimodo and Beast fight Felix and Florian. Quasimodo and Beast survive. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Aladdin from District 3, Felix from District 12, and Florian from District 1. So Districts 2, 5, 9, 11, and 12 are completely out. And we go from 11 survivors to 9. 9? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 8 from 11 to 8. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways. Sisu, Lee, Beast, Felix, and Alonzo track down and kill Mordu. Quasimodo stays awake all night, and Prince Charming sees a fire but stays hidden. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, evidence, and memoirs from tribute families. Alonzo, Quasimodo, Prince Charming, and Sisu all decide not to go to the feast. Felix sets Beast on fire with a Molotov, and Lee falls into a pit and dies. Oh boy. Felix camouflages himself in the bushes. Quasimodo is pricked by thorns of picking berries. Alonzo spears Sisu in the abdomen, and Prince Charming receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Cinderella! Come on. Now, guys. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Mordu from District 6, Beast from District 3, Lee from District 4, and Sisu from District 7. While Districts 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12 are completely out. And we go from 8 survivors down to 4. You know, Charming is still alive. If he ends up winning, and it's a winning, I'm gonna call rigged. Which is weird, because this is all simulated take 1 and luck of the draw. and I have even an excuse to say I didn't rig it, because the 2 people I wanted to win are already dead. Felix decapitates Prince Charming with a sword, Alonzo dies from an infection, and Quasimodo dies from hunger. Never mind, I guess the non-existent Prince of Encanto ended up winning. To be fair, he is my favorite of the dads in Encanto. Felix Madrigal is the winner. Anyways, let's review the placements. And actually, since this is a sequel episode, you know what? I'm going to review how the Prince did to their princess version. So, Prince Philip of Sleeping Beauty did worse than Aurora in the princess episode. Captain John Smith did about the same as Pocahontas. Kristoff did worse than Anna in the princess video. Anakin did worse than Padme in the princess video. Calhoun, we're going to say she was the fill-in for Ralph, and for that, she did worse than he did. Han did worse than Leia. Naveen did better than Tiana. Eugene did worse than Rapunzel. Tarzan did worse than Jane. Peter Pan barely did better than Tinkerbell. Maui did worse than Moana. Hans did worse than Elsa. Eric did worse than Little Mermaid. Aladdin did worse than Jasmine. Felix did worse than Vanellope. Florian did better than Sleeping Beauty. Mordu did better than The Girl in Brave. Beast did better than Belle. Lee did better than Mulan. Sisu did way better than Raya. Charming did worse than Cinderella. Alonzo did better than Elena or something. Quasimodo did better than Esmeralda. And Felix naturally did better than Mirabelle. Oh yeah, and by the way, our highest ranking pacifist was Charming. So there you go. Maybe that's like a more interesting rundown. I gotta do these more for the sequel episodes. At least this one was consistent with kills. Anyways, district placements in 12th, 11, in 11th, 5, in 10th, 9, in 9th, 2, in 8th, 12, in 7th, 6, in 6th, 3, in 5th, 4, in 4th, 7, in 3rd, 1, in 2nd, 8, and in 1st, 10. There you have it. That's going to do it for the Disney Prince Hunger Games Simulator. Thank you once again to Grand Admiral Thrawn for the suggestion. And two things before we sign off. One, this episode is shorter than the Blue Characters one, timer-wise. And two, next time we're doing Big Bang Theory. But until that time happens, the name is Blue Fang, and I bid you all a good West positioning outside, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you all then. Goodbye.